In this infographic segment, I would like to present you some data about the dynamics of Indonesia agricultural sector. And the first one will be about the 5 sectors that contribute to the biggest GDP contributor in the third quarter in 2019. So let's check the data. So here it is, the 5 main contributor to Indonesia's GDP in the third quarter of 2019. As the theme is talking about the agriculture, so agriculture in the second place after the industry. So first step is in the industry that have contributes around 19.62% to the third quarter of 2019 to the GDP. And the second place goes to the agricultural sectors, which has contributed around 13.45% in the third quarter of 2019. While in the third place, we got trade sectors by the contributions of 13% and constructions by 10.6%, and lastly but not least, mining for 6.9%. Contributor to the third quarter of 2019. And Indonesia agricultural gross income or GDP has increased sharply in the last 5 years. Indonesia agricultural GDP currently ranks in the 5th positions in the world. Agricultural development has contributed to promote Indonesia economic growth both in the long term and the short term. And according to the government data, the agriculture, forestry and fisheries sectors currently provide jobs for around 29% of the country's total workforce. So Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry or Kadin Vice Chairman Frankie Awijaya added that the agriculture sector can push up Indonesia economic growth to reach 6 to 7% within the next 5 years. And even though agriculture have become one of the biggest contributor to Indonesia GDP, the sector had experienced slowdown in terms of rice productivity. And to be exact, let's check the data. So here it is, Indonesia rice productivity in the last 5 months in 2019. So as we can see through the data, the trend is slowing down. So in the mid-year, let's say take a look for like the August, the Indonesia rice productivity in August hit 5.6 million tons, while it's September, it decreased gradually to be like 4.23 million tons only. And then the next month, which is October, it hit only like 3.31 million tons, and then goes up to November and December, the trend is declining, and as we see the December, it only hit 1.7 million tons. And Indonesia rice productions in 2019 only produced 55.6 million tons of the unhulled rice. The number was decreased compared to 2018 rice productivity, which reached 59.2 million tons. The reason that caused such decrease was the extreme weather. In January and February 2019, for example, extreme weather happened in some areas in Indonesia. The condition has caused paddy rice fields submerged. In contrary, long dry season from July to December had affected the harvest area as well, that at the end of the affected rice productivity. And some regions have become the largest contributor for Indonesia's rice productivity. Curious much? So let's see who are those. Here it is, 5 regions with the 5 positive rice productivity in 2019. So this is compared to 2018 data. As we can see, West Kalimantan, here is the upmost with the contributions of like 48.16 tons. And then moving up to the second place, we got Yogyakarta, and the third place we got South Kalimantan and Papua, and also last but not least is Bengkulu. And the rice productions in Indonesia last year decreased compared to 2018. Extreme weather was the reason, one of which was flooding in the several regions in Indonesia and continued with the long dry season. Of many rice production centers, only 8 provinces experienced increases. The highest increase came from the West Kalimantan, as you can saw before, with a difference of 48 to 0.16 tons of dry milled grain compared to 2018 data. Some regions even experiencing deepest decrease in terms of rice productivity. And what are those? Let's see the data. Here it is, 5 regions with the biggest decrease in rice productivity in 2019. So this is still compared to 2018. So as we can see, the deepest go with the South Sulawesi with the minus 898,000.4 million tons. And then for the second place, we got Central Java with the range of minus 800,000. And then the third place, we got East Java with minus around 622,000 tons. And then the fourth place goes up to West Java. And last but not least is South Sumatra. South Sulawesi is the province with the largest decline in the rice productions in 2019. The difference in productions in 2019 and 2018 reached 898,000 tons of paddy field. Central Java, also the rice productions was the biggest, but the decline was also sharp. Weather had become the gifted situations for agricultural sector, but when it comes to strategy to increase the rice productivity, Indonesia needs to increase the use of hybrid seeds as part of its long-term national food strategy to meet a surge in rice demand. And the Central for Indonesia Policy Studies, or CIPS, further recommended that the government have to give support to hybrid rice research centers that are seeking to create new variants of hybrid seeds by, for example, offering them by incentive. By supporting these researchers, Indonesia can reduce its dependence on the imported hybrid seeds. And in terms of land conversions, for example, Indonesia is facing serious problems. The next data will show about the decreasing number of productive agricultural land. So let's check the data. Here is to be sure, in 2013, Indonesian red paddy area is in a 7.75 million hectares, while in 2018, it dropped significantly by 7.1 million hectares only. So we can see the declining trend happening right now. Indonesia's statistical agency had found that the decrease in rice paddy plantations area from 7.75 million hectares in 2013 to 7.1 million hectares in 2018. Head of BPS, Suhardiman, said that the government needs to solve productive agricultural land conversions quickly to avoid more severe conditions. As it is known, decreasing number of rice paddy fields surely affected rice productions. One of the solutions that can be implemented is by giving incentive to the farmer, so they are not planning to convert their productive land to another purposes. And according to Suhardiman, government have to do a lot of strategies to boost rice productions since the consumption rate is getting higher. And hopefully, all of the strategies will work effectively to improve agriculture sector in Indonesia. So stay tuned on market headlines.